Boy, your daughter's getting tall.
Oh man, let me tell you something. My daughter is growing like a weed, a good weed though.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
right.
she's more of a flower than a weed. Okay, so
Yeah, that's right. Don't call her weed.
yeah, I know. So yeah, if the government is listening to this, they're gonna think that I'm growing weed.
Yeah.
You know. Anyways, well, it's good to hear from you here. Speak on the little devil. She's showing up here too.
Oh,
I think
good.
I think she's getting on. Hi, Chantel. She's on there. I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. It's good
Hi,
that.
Chantel. Haven't seen you in a long time.
Hi.
Yeah, it's good. It's excellent. I have some other people dialing in, so you don't see them on the screen. Anyways, what I wanted to run today about is about keeping your New Year's resolutions. Okay, how to keep New Year's resolutions. So actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. Let me see how I do that. I am, technologically disadvantaged at times. Share my screen. How do I do that? Share my screen. Oh, there it is. There we go. Whoop. That's not what I wanted to share. I wanted to share this. Okay, there we go. There we go. I got my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. All right. So today's session is all about how to keep your New Year's resolutions. And I came up with a very simple solution to keeping your New Year's resolution. Don't make any, okay? So if you don't make any, you don't have to worry about it. It's kind of like, I was seeing a guy down at the local bar the other day, and I said to him, well, you're drinking a lot. He goes, well, I'm trying to not have a hangover. I says, well, you're contradicting the whole process. He says, if you stay drunk, you never have a hangover. So it's kind of like that. And so if you don't make New Year's resolutions, then you don't have to worry about them. However, we all do that. So we all make resolutions. And I think one of the biggest things is that we need to look at ourselves on who we are, what we're doing, and how we're doing it, and be honest with ourselves. So the first thing I would say is we all have to look in the mirror. And I don't know if you remember any of the things that are, out there in the world where we did lots of trainings. But usually what happens is people say, well, I'm going to try to do something different. No, you can't try something different. What you got to do is you got to make a decision for yourself. Are you going to be honest with yourself? Are you going to look into the mirror and tell yourself the truth? Or are you just going to fake yourself out? So we all want to do something different. 2020 has been an absolute learning experience. That's what I would call it. I wouldn't call it a bad or a good thing. I would call it a learning experience. And I think that for me personally, anyways, I've learned a lot this year. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about the people around me, friends, relatives, strangers. It's amazing how when something happens in the world, it brings out some of the nastiest, ugliest things in people. And some of the things that happen is that it brings out the best in people. So sometimes they get really, really nasty and ugly, and sometimes they just bring out something really fantastic in individuals. So I've seen people donating money, time, energy, giving of themselves. I know a couple of people, this fellow Michael and his wife Melissa. I mean, they don't have a lot for themselves. He's a vet, and he's been through some really difficult times. But what's beautiful about that is that in spite of his problems, he's giving his time and his money and his energy to people. So it's really great to see that. Anyways, so let's talk about making New Year's resolutions. And like I said, you need to look into the mirror and say to yourself, I am personally accountable. I've got to this point from where I was before, and it got me all of the steps that I have brought me to this point in my life, whether being sick or healthy or overweight or not, or I'm broke or I have money or whatever I have in my life, I got this far. So the big question is, people usually make New Year's resolutions, but the big question is, do you really want things to change? And I'm assuming, since all of you got on the call today, is that you want things to change. You want something different. You're not satisfied with what you have right now. Otherwise, why waste the time listening to something? Unless you got nothing on the TV and, you just say, okay, I haven't seen this guy for a long time. Let me see him. Let me see what he's all about. So you see my screen, and I'm going to go to this part here, and it's supposed to, my button is not working. Oh, there it is. Okay. Here's what happens when people make New Year's resolutions. After the first week, only 75% of the people are actually on track. After 1 week, we lose 25% of the people. They say that the health clubs are packed on January 1st. I was at my health club on January 1st. They were open. They were signing up people. I've seen a lot of activity. I play racquetball 4 or 5 times a week for about an hour and a half. And people were coming and going. People were in the gym. I've seen some of these women with their new outfits, their makeup on, I'm not going to sweat on my clothes, dress up, all fancied out. I've seen some of these guys coming in, all buff and lifting the weights, staring at themselves in the mirror. And everybody I saw over there were like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Now, the thing about it is, there was a bunch of those people I haven't seen for a long time, okay? But here it is January the 1st, and they're making a commitment to do that. Guaranteed, okay, that within the week, there is no way those people are still going to be on it, okay? 25%, we lose 25% of the people. So let's take a look at what happens next. What happens when more time goes by? Well, when more time goes by, after 2 weeks, only 71% of the people are still on track. So we lost 29. Almost 30% of people have quit their New Year's resolutions. After 1 month, 64% of the people are still in the game. Now, this is going to be an interesting number here. After 6 months, 46%. So more than 50% of the people have given up. They are not consistent. They're not sticking to their resolutions. And they're basically made it, they were out in a bar drinking, looked to their buddy or their friend and said, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sell 100 homes this year. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lose 50 pounds. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to travel around the world, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. Some of these people have never left their house, okay? Some of these people have never sold more than 2 houses a year. And some of these people, they don't have a weight problem. They have a consumption problem, okay? It's usually that's the problem. We just eat the wrong things, and we're just not moving enough, okay? So next slide here. Department of Labor did a survey of adults, and they found 3 of the biggest reasons why people do not follow their New Year's resolutions, why they're not sticking to it. So they found 3 main reasons. And I'm telling you, we've all had this. And even though I'm doing this seminar, I've been victim of this, number 1. It's called procrastinating. 33% of the people procrastinate. They say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it happen. Yeah, I'm going to exercise. Yeah, I'm going to start my diet on Monday, but it's Tuesday. So you know what? Since I screwed it up yesterday, I might as well not move forward. I'm going to wait till next Monday. Or I'm going to start my diet on the 1st of the month. Oh, it's the 3rd. Man, I made a mistake. Okay, well, I'll start later. And some of these people, the reason they're doing that is because they're getting ready to begin to get started. I know so many people, what they have is they have the perfect plan. They're working on their perfect plan. And, you know, Chantal actually knows who we're talking about. We know people that are always getting ready to shoot the perfect video or to do the perfect system, or I got to have my website. For the last 2 years, I've been working on my website trying to get it perfect. When you guys signed up for this program, you saw my website. I put my website all out there also on the Facebook, and it's not perfect. There's stuff missing. Stuff is not 100% working. And I said to the developers, I don't care. We need to get started. Okay. We just need to do it. Yeah, but this thing is not working. It's not perfect. Yep. There's a couple of comments. You know, some of the information is not formatting properly on a mobile device. Who cares? Let's just do it. Let's make it happen. So procrastination is a huge, huge enemy of people, you know, not living up to their New Year's resolutions. The second point is lack of discipline. What is discipline? Discipline is doing the thing you know you have to do and don't want to do, but doing it anyways. It's like prospecting for realtors, okay? It's like going to the gym. I've done so many trainings over the years. I've been training people for over 35 years. And, you know, I'm doing a training. I'm in this training session, and I say to one of these agents, I didn't notice you writing your goals down. He says, well, I'd like to have some goals, but I'm waiting for somebody to motivate me. I said, what if nobody ever shows up? You're in big trouble, because if you need somebody to motivate you, it's kind of like some people need a buddy to go exercise with. What if your buddy is not available? I'm coaching several real estate agents right now. And I said to them, why don't you get a role play partner? And they said, yeah, you know, but it's very difficult to find somebody. So what you're saying to me is that you can't role play on your own. Hey, I used to role play like this. I would have my scripts and I would read it out loud if I didn't have somebody to role play with. And I pretended that I was talking to a customer. I even gave myself the objection. Hi, when do you plan on moving? No, we're not moving. Okay, how long you lived at this address? Well, that's none of your business. Where did you folks move from? And I would play like a difficult customer. I would play both roles, okay? Because you can't wait for other people to jump into the game with you. You have to have the discipline. You have to make the phone calls. I've been prospecting for 37 years. I still don't like it, but I know I have to do it. I have agents say to me, but Alex, I'm getting internet leads. Okay, who's going to call them back? You still have to call them. You still have to prospect. You still have to make the call. You still have to put your running shoes on. You still have to put on your gym clothes and go to the gym. You know, my wife just went today. You know, she started this new program, and she's including weight training into her system. And so, you know, had to go. Guess what? She put her running shoes at the side of the bed and literally tripped over her running shoes and her gym clothes when she was getting out of bed, and it forced her to go to the gym. Sometimes you got to do things like that. Third thing is there is no game plan. 19% of people don't have a plan. They have no plan of action. Yeah, I'm going to lose some weight. How much? Well, I don't know. Like, you know, but I want to be better. Oh, I want to make more money. How much more money? How are you going to do it? What's going to be? Well, how are you going to accomplish this? You know, I want to be a top whatever. Yeah, but what exactly are you going to do? How is that going to be accomplished? So a lot of times people make a decision to do something, but they don't have a set of strategies. They don't have a plan. It's kind of like, I live in Daytona Beach right now. I want to go to Los Angeles. If I got in my car, started driving north, I'd see you, Ed. I'd see you on the way up towards Canada and New York City, but I would never hit Los Angeles. The reason is because I'm going in the wrong direction. I don't have a roadmap. So basically, a plan is a roadmap to accomplish the thing we want to accomplish. So what I did is I wrote down a whole bunch of notes for myself, and I've got them right here in on my sheets over here. So how to keep your New Year's resolutions. Okay, so let's do this. How to keep your New Year's resolutions. Number one, must write it down. I mean, this is so basic and it's so old from a standpoint of advice that we've been giving people. I think it first started in Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, that he wrote like about 100 years ago. Okay. So here is the thing. Now, I've done trainings where I talk about the wheel of life, but I simplified it. We boiled it down to 4 categories. You must write it down: physical, spiritual, relational, and financial. Just 4 simple categories. What am I going to do physically? What specifically are my targets? What specifically I want to do? Okay. What am I going to do as far as my spirituality is concerned? Whatever that means here. I'm not talking about religion. I'm not talking about anything specific like that. What I'm talking about is, what are you going to do for yourself? For some people, spiritualism is meditation. For other people, it's prayer. For other people, being spiritual is writing affirmations every morning, writing it down. I used to do that with Chantel all the time. We used to write affirmations when she was younger. Now I know, she's not writing as many affirmations as she used to. But if you write down the affirmations, and that kind of lifts your spirit, that's why I say spiritually, it doesn't mean religion. It doesn't mean how many times you go to church. It's not talking about that. It's talking about your spirit. We have a body and we have a spirit. How are you going to feed that specifically this year? One of the ways I'm going to feed it, I'm going to take more trainings. I'm going to read more books. I put them in my calendar. I signed up for Audible. I have audio books because I find that the easiest. I was at a listing appointment this morning, and on the way driving there and driving back, I was listening to an audio book. Hey, I drove 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back. That's an hour and a half I would have wasted sitting in the car, listening to the radio or the news, which I hate. How many people got sick today from COVID, and how many people died, and how you can't get the vaccine. And some people got too much vaccine, and Canada bought everything. I don't know. Who cares? Okay. Because there's a lot of bad news out there. I don't want to waste my time. You know what? When the time comes, I will look that information up and take a look at it. Was I cautious? I went to the appointment. I wore a mask. The lady wore a mask over there. I used my hand sanitizers. Thank you, Chantel. I used to kid Chantel all the time for buying hand sanitizers. For some reason, when she was a little girl, she loved these. She loved the hand sanitizers. So guess what? What happened was, we kept kidding her. And what happened? We had to borrow from her because she had mounds of it, bags. What was that place that you kept buying it?
Bath and Body Works.
Bath and Body Works. She was the best customer. I think she spent thousands in there, and she had big bags of them. And then all of a sudden the pandemic hit last year. And guess what? We have unlimited supply of hand sanitizers. Anyways, so the third category is relational. Now, the first relational things you must write information about is the relation with yourself. What kind of relation you have with yourself? Because it's, when you get on an airplane, they're going to announce that, before, if there's a loss of oxygen, masks drop from the ceiling. And if you're traveling with a child or somebody who's disabled or somebody who needs assistance, put your mask on first before you give them the oxygen mask. Take care of yourself first. So the question is, what kind of relationship you have with yourself? And if you're taking notes, write this down. My lowest level of standard I'm willing to accept is. My lowest level of standard I'm willing to accept. Because what's your standard? What's your standard about physical? What's your standard about your business? What's your standard about the relationship with your spouse or your significant other? What's your relationship with your friends, your teachers, your co-workers, people around you? It's all relational. It's the way we connect in. And one of the things that I found, is try to get around people that, are going to support you. They're going to lift you up. As I get older, and I'm getting older by the minute, I'm much older than when I started this thing, okay? But anyways, I'm realizing what's important. What's important is family. What's important is relationships. And I will refuse. I am so prejudiced against people who are going to drag me down. I'm just not willing to, and interested in talking to them. I will cut people out of my circle immediately if the relationship is toxic. Absolutely. Customers, friends, relatives, I won't talk to them. I mean, I will just get really, really aggressive about this. So that was number 3 is relational, and number 4 is financial. What are you going to plan for this year? What's 2021 going to be like as far as the financial situation is? How many hours you're going to work? How much money you're going to make? What specifically you're going to do for your finances to accomplish these things? So it's really, really crucial to know what target you're going after. What is it that you're looking for? And the key ingredient, and they proved this by many studies, that the people that accomplish most of the goals are the people that will write it down, make a specific plan. Okay, we're going to talk about that in a few minutes also. But to write it down, make sure you committed to paper. I always have paper around me. I got books around me. I got my calendar. I'm always taking notes, writing things down, reminding myself of do certain things. So number 1 is write it down. Number 2, why are you doing it? Now you see that it says 95.5. So beside the 95, if you're writing this down, write the word why, and beside the number 5, write the word how. It is proven that 95% of our success is the why and only 5% is the how. See, we have 1.5 million realtors in the United States, yet 10 to 15% of the agents are controlling 95% of the market and the business. Why is that? Because they have a huge why. Huge. So the bigger the why, the easier the how. You can write that down. The bigger the why, the easier is the how. See, if I got a big, really super driving why, nothing can stop me. I won't let anything stop me. I will do whatever possible, whatever is necessary to make sure I accomplish what I want. So the why has to be big enough. And, you know, I've given this example many times, but let's say, for example, you're driving home and you're coming down the street, you see the fire truck and your house is on fire. And in your master bedroom is your favorite running shoes. Would you go in and get it? No, obviously not. How about if your house is on fire and you know that your kids are inside that house? Would you go get them? Would you go? There's no fireman could ever stop you from getting inside that house. Doesn't matter about the flames. And we've seen that where people get superhuman strength by lifting up a car that fell on a baby or ran over a baby or something, because the why is so huge. Nobody can stop you. Now, when I said that at one of the seminars, somebody said, well, it depends, which kid is inside the house. It's like, would you save your kid? One lady said, well, I would save my dog. So again, the big why, the priorities, okay? So if you build the why big enough, the how becomes easy and simple. And then we will follow through with the discipline. We will not procrastinate. And we will make a game plan, which I covered in the previous slide. Because we're not going to procrastinate. If something is really, really crucial, we're not going to wait for it. We're not going to be getting ready to begin to get started, to get going. We are going to jump right on it. So, number 3, identify where you are in relation to the finish line. It's like I gave the example earlier, okay? If I'm going to Los Angeles, it's a good idea to know that I'm located in Daytona Beach and Los Angeles is to the west of me. It's a great idea that if I know that. And so I need to know exactly, it's like right now, okay? I want to lose some weight. How much weight do I want to lose? About 15, 18 pounds. Now, my wife says, no, you're going to be too skinny. But you know what? I need to drop about 18 pounds. Why? I have a special sickness right now. It's called too much food during COVID last year. Okay. It's like, well, there's a lot of people got this illness. It's called, hey, I couldn't go out. There's not much I was doing. So what did I do? I was bored. I kept eating. And I was eating all the wrong stuff. I was eating pizza and candy and chocolates. And, I drank a little bit too much, and not what I'm supposed to, like water and sodas. I don't drink. But you know what? Sometimes that's what people do. They bury their problems in alcohol or food. And there was a lot of people that did that. Now, some people, unfortunately, didn't have any food, so they couldn't bury their problem in it. However, it's important to know where you are exactly. I know how much money I'm making right now. I want to get over there. What do I need to do between there and here in order for me to accomplish that? So identify where you are so that you're clear specifically on what the strategy is going to be, which is coming up, okay, which is put together a specific steps to accomplish. In other words, a schedule or however you want to say that, okay? There is 86,400 seconds in every single day. So here's the important, crucial question. What you're going to do every second of every single day? Now, I know some people say, well, you can't plan everything. Reality is you can. Because even if I'm going to goof off, I plan goofing off. If I'm not going to do something, like some days my calendar is blank. And my wife says, how come it's blank? You know what? I don't feel like doing anything today. I'm going to do whatever happens, whatever comes my way, but I'm really not planning anything today. I'm going to kind of take it easy. And after we sold our condo, we kind of traveled around Florida for a couple of months because our new house wasn't ready. And we really didn't have much of a schedule. We stayed a month at Sanibel Island, and then we went up to St. Augustine, and we hung out on the beach. And we didn't really have anything specific. So I had a lot of blank space in my calendar. But guess what? That's also was part of the plan. The plan is to not do anything, is to enjoy life, is to have some fun and not have any worries in the world. We didn't have to, pay for utilities. We didn't have to clean the house. We didn't have to do any of that kind of stuff. We just kind of hung out. We got up in the morning, walked out to the beach barefoot, just had a great time. Slept till we wanted to. When we woke up, we didn't set an alarm or anything. But then other times you have to be very specific. Like right now, my calendar is very specific. Today, I'm going to do this, this, and this. Right after this, I have a call. Right after that, I have another call. Right after that, I have another Zoom call. So I've got things set up and strategized for today. Tomorrow, I've got certain things I got to do. It's already in my calendar. Wednesday, I've got certain things I got to do. It's in my calendar. So I get very set schedule because I want to see exactly what I want to do with my time. So you need to schedule the time. You need to schedule or you need to, decide on the steps. It takes 3,500 calories burned to burn 1 pound of fat. Or if you want to build a pound of muscle, okay, then you need to eat more calories and you need to do some weight training. So it depends what your goals are. Where is your priority? Now, to me, you have to have a very balanced approach. Physical, spiritual, relational, and financial. Many years ago, when I first got into the real estate business, I used to say, the reason I'm working so hard, like 18, 20 hours a day, is because I'm doing it for my family. My family didn't like that. So I wasn't doing it for them. I was doing it for me. Yes, I was making a ton of money, but then I didn't have any time for the family. So you got to have a kind of a balance. Don't let one get out of whack for the other. So take the schedule, plug in all the pieces. Okay, this morning I got up. I actually got up at 4 o'clock, not because I wanted to, but my mind was full of information and I couldn't sleep. But I had it in my calendar, get up at 6 o'clock. Okay, review my plan for today. Drive to the appointment, do the appointment, come back, have lunch, then, do the call, then do another call, and so on and so on. And then at 5 o'clock, I'm going to go to the gym. The reason I do that at 5 o'clock, usually I do it in the morning, is because I'm going to play racquetball and my partner has a real job. So he can't get there till after 5 o'clock. So again, my schedule is set and structured that I'm building a relationship. I'm building the financial side of it. Like this morning, I'm building, things that I want to do. I wrote some affirmations this morning. So I am kind of balancing my life out. So it's really, really crucial that everything is in your schedule. You need a week at a glance, Okay. So next point. And this is an important one. What obstacles you may encounter? What potential obstacles? It's not enough to know what you need to do, is you need to also kind of plan for some obstacles. What could be the problem? Well, okay, I'll give an example. When I lived up in Canada, I'm going to go to the gym for 6 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I had to get up at 4:30 to go to the gym. The reason was because there was snow the night before, and I knew how long it was going to take me to get to the gym, because the gym was next to my office. My office was about an hour from my house. So I wanted to make sure that once I worked out, I take a shower, put my suit on, and go to my office. So I had to get up earlier. So again, there's potential obstacles. What could be an obstacle? Interest rates rise and you lose some of your customers. Customer goes with another agent. That could be an obstacle. What else could be an obstacle? Okay. It could be an obstacle that, they closed the gyms like they did back in March, April. They shut down my gym. I couldn't go play racquetball. So I had to find alternate ways of doing things and exercising. We did a lot of walking on the beach. We ended up doing some exercises at home. We got a bunch of weights in the garage right now that I don't need, because we have a really well-stocked gym over here where we live. We live at Margaritaville here in Daytona. And also I belong to LA Fitness, and they got a lot of equipment too. So I don't have to worry about that. But back in the beginning of this whole pandemic, we couldn't find any place to work out. So that could be an obstacle, okay? What else could be an obstacle? Obstacle is I love chocolates. So I'm trying to lose some weight, but I have this big box. It's about 2 foot by about 1.5 foot by about 1.5 foot tall. And it's generally full of chocolates. And Chantal knows that because she's seen my box. And my favorite time of the year is right after Halloween, because they got 50% off on chocolates. Right after Christmas, they got 50% off. Right after Valentine's Day, they got 50% off. And I'm the first one at those stores in the morning after these events, buying up all their chocolate. Guess what? I got rid of the box because it was an obstacle. Every time I look at the box, I was like, okay, it's just one, but you can't have one. So I would keep eating them, okay? So again, what could be an obstacle? You know what's an obstacle used to be? And I really love working from home. I'd go to the office, and as soon as I walk in the office, somebody said, hey, Alex, I want to ask you a question. Then another guy, hey, Alex, I got a question. And another guy, I got a question. Or people would be standing around, I'm trying to prospect, and they're yakking. They're talking about last night's football game or something that I'm not really interested in, and they are cutting into my game. So guess what? You need to just change the location. Also, on the financial side of it, I would be reckless with my money. I would see something, I said, oh, I got to buy that. I got to have it. I learned something really amazing in the last couple of months. We traveled around Florida, living out of a little tiny suitcase. I didn't wear half the clothes. And then when we went to our storage, we had 3 storage units that we unpacked our place. And we went there and we said, I haven't worn those clothes in years. So we started donating stuff. You should have seen the bags of clothes that we donated. Because what it was, also, here's a potential problem. I would lose some weight and I would gain the weight back. And so what I would do is when I would gain the weight back, I would buy some fat clothes. And then I would have skinny clothes. So what I did is I thought, okay, I lost all this weight, about a year ago, but for safety, I kept my fat clothes because I knew that, I'll go through cycles. Guess what? By keeping those clothes, I was anticipating, that was a potential obstacle that I was anticipating needing those clothes back again. So therefore, I got rid of a whole bunch of those clothes, those bigger jackets and the bigger pants and everything. I said, no, I'm not going to go there again. There's no way. So not only the scale tells me that I need to do something, my clothes tell me how tight they are, my jackets and my shirts and my pants. I can see it on my belt. Okay. Anyways, so those are just things. So identify the obstacles. It could be people, it could be events, it could be a location, it could be a lot of different things. Next thing. Okay, let me get my next. Okay. Okay. Next thing is find a support team. Okay. You may want to write this down, that you are at the average of the 5 people you hang around the most. If you hang around people that drink a lot, you're the 6th. Okay. If you hang around people that complain a lot, you're the 6th person complaining. If you hang around people that are focused and committed and excited and driven and really are good, positive people, you're the 6th. So you are the average. Even your income is an average of the 5 people you hang around the most. My good friend Greg, Reed told me that. He's an author and a speaker and a trainer out in California. And he actually wrote a book called 3 Feet from Gold. It's a great book. I've read it a couple of times. And it's just information that is going to tell you that, hey, it's also in Think and Grow Rich. It says it right in there about keeping a mastermind and hanging around people that are going to be positive. So for role playing, you hang around people that role play. I coach some people right now out in Las Vegas. These people formed a group that prospects and role plays most mornings, and once a week they get together and they group role play and they help each other. So they make sure that everybody's supporting them. Okay. The support team is also, what's a support team? Is when you tell everybody you're going to do something. Many years ago, I wanted to lose some weight, and I owned a company. I had about 63 real estate agents, and I had a whole bunch of customers, and we used to do monthly events. At one of these monthly events with about 150 people in the room, I stated that I'm going to lose some weight and exactly what I'm going to lose. And if you want to make it really interesting, place a bet. And I bet a couple of people that for every pound I'm over the weight that I'm going to target for the day when we all weigh in, I will give them $5,000 per pound. That's pretty expensive meat, I'll tell you. $5,000 for every pound I'm over. So I told everybody. So every day people were supporting me saying, hey, how's it going with your weight loss? The day when we were supposed to weigh in, we were going to meet in the evening around 6 o'clock. Everybody was going to be there and we're going to have a big celebration. That day in the morning, I was 2 pounds over. So I was sitting at the gym in the sauna with my tracksuit on, a hat, shoes, everything, trying to get rid of that last 2 pounds because it was going to cost me 10 G's. And there was no way I was going to pay that. Now, I could have afforded the money side of it, but there was no way I wanted to have the embarrassment of all those people saying, I didn't make it. You did make it. You didn't make the commitment. You made the commitment, but you didn't do what you said you were going to do. Okay. So make sure that you have people around you that can support you. That's the reason people hire a coach, is because it's support. It's an accountability coach. Okay. And speaking of accountability, there it is. Set up accountability system. A weekly tracking sheet for prospecting. Okay. Role play partners. That's an accountability system. Okay. I read a book called Body for Life years ago, and I followed the program precisely. Accountability system is like right now, my wife is part of my accountability system because she keeps me on track. We started this new program that we're going to follow through together. It's more fun when we do it together. And she every day makes the breakfast, lunch, and dinner exactly. I just say to her, I don't want to know what it is. Just put it in front of me and I'll eat it. And so that's an accountability partner. Have other people enrolled in your system. Sometimes you can automate things that send you reminders. It's like my Fitbit. I actually just took it off because it was down in the battery. But that's an accountability system. I take a look at it every day, how much I slept, how much I walked, how many steps I made, how many miles I went. And I'm doing about 10 to 12,000 steps a day, about 5-6 miles. But that's beautiful. Then my wife is on the same Fitbit. Chantal is on the same Fitbit. My wife's daughter, Ginger, is on the same Fitbit. We just have my son-in-law get a Fitbit for Christmas. And we all tell each other, hey, how you doing? Let me see. What did you do? What did I do? And we kind of compete a little bit. My wife and I are working on learning more Spanish. Guess what? Every day she reminds me that she did her Spanish lessons. And she's like, well, I got like 282 days in a row. I'm a little bit behind. I'm about 240 days in a row because I missed a few days. And so it's a little competition, but it's an accountability system. And we remind each other. And I have little beepers that go off on my phone that says, hey, Alex, you need to do your lessons. So that's part of the accountability system, and it's automated. Okay. Now, next point. Measure your abilities in each area. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're focused on your business and you want to make more money and you know you got to prospect, you need to take a look at it. How good are you at prospecting? How good are you at lead generation? How good are you at your CRM and keeping track of people? I am not that great at it. I'm probably about a 4 of the actual process, not the prospecting. I'm a 10 at prospecting. Once I get on the phone, I call. I'm like a machine. I use a headset like you see right now. Just plug it in, boom, 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 and I hammer it off. I don't do as much prospecting as I used to because I'm not full-time real estate. I'm doing more trainings and speaking engagements and all of that. However, what's beautiful about that is you look at your business. So let's say you're a realtor. How good are you at prospecting? You're a 3. How good are you at the listing presentation? You're a 5. How good are you at closing? You're a 7. How good are you at selling houses and taking buyers around? Well, I'm a 2, between a 1 and a 2, taking people around. I'm not very good at showing property. Why? I don't like doing it. I get bored. I drive too fast. I upset the clients. When we go to 6 houses and I show them some fantastic deals and they don't put an offer in, I'm confused. Okay. And I'm like, hey, what's up? Some people want to see 60 houses. I do have a customer like that. I think, I've been working with them for about 4 months. I'm not really sure they're a client. I think they may be a tourist. Okay. They just want to see Florida. So anyways, but you got to measure your abilities on all the different things. How good are you at keeping your word? How good are you at time management? I'm amazing at time management. I'm always early, 15, 20 minutes, sometimes half an hour early, always. One of my biggest fears was over the years is that I'm going to be late from one of my own trainings. In 37 years, I've never been too late on one of my trainings. Now, years before that, I was late for everything. Then I took a time management course, and then the guy showed me exactly how to line up my goals and my targets and everything else and plug it into my schedule. So it became very freeing because some people say, I don't want to keep a schedule. It's restrictive. No, it's freeing. I just look at my schedule and say, oh, I got to do that at 2 o'clock. I got to do that at 2:30. And so I don't have to think about it. So I'm really good at that part of it. Now, I know lots of people that I always just get there on time or a little bit late. Somebody said to me years ago, usually most employees are late. Managers are on time and entrepreneurs are always early. So I say I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm always early. I don't want to be late. And as a matter of fact, if you're on time, you are late. Okay. That's just my attitude. And by the way, just, to let you know that anybody that wants to do business with me, if they're late, I don't do business with them. Because I value my time, and obviously they don't value my time. Oh, Alex, you don't understand. There was traffic, or you know what? Something. I used to travel across Canada and the U.S. doing trainings. I would fly into a city like Dallas, Texas. I would get from the airport to my hotel. Before I did anything else, I would drive from my hotel to that real estate office to make sure I knew exactly where it was located so I don't get lost. Then my mind was free and clear to understand what the traffic patterns and everything was. Then I could go for dinner or do whatever else I was going to do. So I'm good at that. I'm good at directions. I'm good at certain things. So measure yourself. I'm a 1 in this. I'm a 2 in that, a 5 in this. Okay. And you just need to know that. Okay. Organize a systematic training to achieve. Okay. What does that mean? It means that you need to have in your schedule plugged in every single day specific training times. As a realtor, you should role play a minimum of a half an hour to an hour every single day. You should conduct and go to a training every single day for at least an hour. Okay. It's just the way it is. You should be doing that. Why? Because you're sharpening your axe, you're sharpening your skills constantly every single day. I listen to webinars and seminars. I do webinars. As a matter of fact, let me tell you something. When I decided to do this webinar today, I did it for me. You just happen to be in the room at the same time and you're getting the benefit of it. But I'm talking to Alex. I'm talking to me, telling me what I need to do this year in order for me to accomplish my goals. So therefore, I'm helping me and I'm helping you. Okay. So I learn the most usually at my trainings. Okay. Just reminding myself. So always do some trainings, always go to trainings. And then the last thing to accomplish your goals and be able to accomplish all of your resolutions, give yourself some small rewards. It doesn't have to be huge. You don't have to, take a trip, if you make 10 phone calls, you don't have to buy a new car. What you need to do is to give yourself some little rewards for accomplishment. Like, for example, one of the rewards I plan on giving myself, I'm on this weight loss and exercise program all this week. Guess what? At the end of the week, I'm actually going to eat a piece of chocolate. I'm going to give myself a reward because all week I stuck to it. I already lost 3 pounds. So I know by the end of the week, I'll probably lose about 4.5. That's okay. I'm going to give myself a little reward. No, I'm not going to have a pizza and a beer and a box of chocolates. No, I'm going to give myself one chocolate because I deserve it, because I had the discipline to be able to stick to it. I know that one chocolate isn't going to put 4 pounds back or 5 pounds, whatever. But what it's going to do is going to give me a little satisfaction. So pick some rewards for yourself. It doesn't have to be major, get a pedicure, Ed, or a manicure, or get a haircut. Anyways, so, the way I look at it is, if you follow some of these things that I suggested, you may follow all, you may follow one or a couple of them. It's up to you. I know what I'm going to do to make sure I keep my resolutions, that I stick to the things that I said I was going to do. And you need to, like I said earlier, your standard is the lowest level you're willing to accept. What is your standard? My standard is X in this area. My standard is Y in that other area. So that's what we need to look at. Anyway, so next section will be Monday, February the 1st, 1 p.m. Eastern and 10 a.m. Pacific. And then if you live in between, like Texas there, I think Texas is an hour from here. So it's going to be like 12 noon in Texas. And, just make sure you log in. I'll be sending out the link again. Also, go to my website. See down here, it says alexsinek.com. I made it really simple. I had all kinds of fancy websites, come to Daytona, locate to Florida, go here, go there, go all that. You know what? alexsinek.com. Nobody can forget that because it's my name. And that's where I built my new website. It's my new training website. There's a bunch of free stuff there. There's scripts. There's a free ebook on there. There's free seminar that you can take, a little mini seminar that I created. There's a bunch of stuff over there. I have a whole bunch of videos, talks about coaching, agent coaching, broker coaching, all of that. I've got a whole bunch of information that you can look at. Just take a look, okay? You want to sign up for anything? Go ahead. If you don't want to sign up, it's okay. No big deal. I don't do seminars like I go to a lot of seminars and they give me a whole bunch of information. At the end, they try to sell me $5,000 worth of goods. No, I'm not doing that. What I do is, you're interested in something, you like what I talk about, you want to interact with me more, go to my website. You can book an appointment. I got a free half-an-hour coaching session on there. You can book it. I had 2 people book it this morning. So whatever, and any way I can help you, just let me know. Anybody has any questions, if you do, unmute yourself. And okay, let me see in the chat if anybody said anything in the chat. If anybody has anything they would like to know, or make a comment on, go ahead, unmute yourself. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, it's the Alex and Egg website. There was a comment here. Alex and Egg website. It is live. I made it live yesterday. Now I know somebody made a comment that there's some formatting problems on a phone or a mobile device, but we're working on fixing that. Okay. And on there, by the way, is you can book live trainings also. And I'd be more excited. I think I'm more than willing to travel this year and go to places, of course, very, very safe. But, let me know if there's any way I can help you. So any questions, any comments from anybody? Otherwise, we got a few minutes left. So I thought I'll open it up. Hey, Keith.
Hey, good morning, Alex. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, man.
I
How's Texas?
Oh man, it was cool for a bit, but it's back to 65 and sunny.
It's 58 here.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the little webinar this morning. I've heard this before, but writing it down and thinking about it, I go, how much am I following? Maybe 30%. Well, tomorrow I'm going to be following it at least 90%.
Good.